Valencia is the hottest destination in Spain right now. It's been voted the #1 city for expats, and it consistently ranks as one of the top places in the world in terms of quality of life. But it's not all sunshine and tapas. There are pros and cons to this popular expat destination that most blogs and generic travel guides don't talk about. I've been living here for a year now, and I even started a relocation company where I'm actively helping dozens of families move to Valencia in 2025. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the brutally honest reality of living in Spain, including the good, the bad, and the ugly. These are the top 10 things you need to know before moving to Valencia. The first thing is that you need to be prepared for fires. Every March, the city practically shuts down and becomes a non-stop party and fireworks show. You might have seen the incredible pictures, the massive, beautiful sculptures, the fireworks, the street parties. Las Fallas is one of the most unique and spectacular festivals in the world. And here's what's even crazier. They do a daily fireworks show at 2 p.m. every day called Mascleta, which is 10 minutes of non-stop fireworks every single day for 19 days in a row. And it peaks with the Nit del Foc, or Night of Fire, which is 20 minutes of the biggest fireworks show you'll probably ever see in your life, where they burn through over 75,000 euros worth of fireworks in one session. Some of the fire sculptures reach the height of 5-story buildings. Each neighborhood competes for who has the best sculpture, and the biggest sculptures can cost up to 1 million euros. Talented painters and sculptors work a whole year on them. And the craziest thing is that they all get burned on the last night. Every sculpture around the city goes in flames. It's an unforgettable experience that you won't see anywhere else in the world. But what the travel guides and YouTube vlogs don't show you is what it's actually like to live here as a family when the city transforms for 3 full weeks. Even though it's cool to see if you come to experience it during vacation, if you live here, it can be challenging. Because for you, it's not just a vacation, it's your life, it's your kids' sleep schedule, and it's your business. Imagine you are on a crucial client call and suddenly a mascleta erupts right outside your window. Now imagine trying to get your kids to sleep when you are hearing firecrackers and fireworks going off at 1 a.m. And it's not just for one night, it's for 3 weeks, but the last week is the loudest and most chaotic. Now, I'm not saying this to scare you away. Las Fallas is an experience you have to see at least once, but it's a perfect example of a local reality that you can't just ignore. You have to plan for it. First, it starts with where you choose to live. Living a bit outside of the city center will make it easier so that you're not right in the middle of all the celebrations. It will still be noisy, but not as bad as if you were right in the center of all the action. And if you're not a fan of the noise, smoke, and non-stop parties, I actually recommend traveling out of Valencia in March during the last week of Fallas to escape the chaos, especially during the last 3 days when it gets really wild. This is what we're planning to do next year, and it's perfect time to explore other parts of Spain or even other countries in Europe. Okay, now let's move on to one of the best things about Valencia, which is that it's super international. A lot of expats are moving, which is good because there is a great international community here, but it also is getting more expensive and more overcrowded. Although it's still much less crowded and less expensive than bigger cities like Barcelona or Madrid, but yes, you'll hear more English in neighborhoods here like Rusafa or Gran Via, and the competition for apartments and school spots is real. But for expat families, this also means a built-in community and an easier time integrating. You don't feel isolated in Valencia because there are plenty of expats everywhere, and it's very easy to meet other like-minded people. It's not like in the US where most of the people are isolated. It's very easy to build a thriving social circle here. You can walk 20 minutes to a cafe and meet up for a coffee with friends. We have a much better social circle here in Valencia than we ever did in the US. Which brings me to my next point, which is community. There is a strong sense of community in Valencia. But as an expat, understand that your social circle will be mostly made up of other expats. It can feel hard to break into local social circles with the native Spanish people if you're not a native. It's not that they don't want you, they're actually quite open and welcoming, but unless you're fluent in Spanish, the language barrier and cultural difference can make it harder to join in on local celebrations and gatherings. So you'll see a lot of people gathering in the street, sharing paella together with people from their neighborhood, talking about, I don't know, local gossips, and you will realize that they have tight-knit social circles, and that can be hard to enter as a foreigner. On top of that, you'll occasionally see protests against tourism, but these are targeted at mass tourism, not expats that come to live, pay taxes and integrate. The locals are actually very warm and friendly to expats, and we've never had a rude encounter with a local here. Weather. It gets hot here in the summer, and it's not a dry heat like other parts of Spain, but a humid heat, which makes it feel even hotter than it actually is. Even 28, 30 degrees Celsius, which is around the mid 80s in Fahrenheit, can feel uncomfortably hot. As a foreigner, you start sweating easily. The locals are more adapted to it, but for foreigners, it can be hot, humid, and sticky during the summer months. This means the mold, that mold is also a risk, so keep an eye on that and make sure it doesn't start growing in your apartment, especially in the shower area, near windows and air conditioning units. Also, one thing that surprised us about Valencia is that it doesn't cool down at night. We often say that Spain is 2 hours later than the rest of the world because the sun rises later and sets later in the evening, especially in the summer, and it stays hot at night. Because of the humidity and the daytime sun being absorbed by the stone streets and buildings and released at night, it stays hot until early morning. And in the summer, it doesn't cool down until 3 or 4 a.m., which makes for rough nights if you don't have good AC. So make absolute sure when you rent a place that it has air conditioning. This is a non-negotiable if you want to live comfortably in Valencia in the summer. Valencia has 300 plus days of sun per year, which is great during the colder months. But from June to early September, it's roasting. And if you're not used to hot or humid climates, it can be a bit intense. We previously lived in North Carolina and it was even worse there. So it's not as extreme as some tropical or subtropical climates. And if you're coming from humid climate like Florida or southeastern part of the US, it will be easier for you. Beach access. Because of the geographical position of Valencia, you most likely won't be living on the coast, so be prepared to use a car or public transport to get to the sea or beach. It's just about 20-30 minutes by metro or taxi, so not hours, but psychologically it feels different than beachfront living. This is something that my husband and I found really confusing, why the city is built farther away from the sea in Valencia. Other cities in Spain, such as Malaga or smaller cities near Barcelona, are all built near the sea. But for some reason, Valencia is built further away from the beach, and the beach area near Valencia is mostly undeveloped and sparsely populated. There are some new developments underway at the beach with modern buildings that are being constructed, but this project will take time before it's complete. So don't expect to get an apartment that's right near the beach if you're moving to Valencia, but 30 minutes to the beach still isn't such a deal breaker. Family friendly. Valencia is ideal for families with remote jobs. You will be seeing kids everywhere here, and it will be very easy for your kids to make friends. There are lots of amazing international schools with good curricula such as Montessori, Waldorf, etc., but it can be hard to get a place. One of our clients literally said she cried in a good way after talking to one of the schools we connected her with, because she was so impressed by the school and thought it would be the perfect place for her kid. But since it's such a family-friendly city, if you are a solo person and want to look for your second half, you might prefer more energetic cities like Barcelona and Madrid. And that brings me to point number 7, which is pet-friendly. People love their pets in Valencia. It's very common for people to own dogs here, and you see dogs everywhere you go. There are lots of dog parks here as well. If you're a pet owner yourself, then you'll fit right in with the pet-friendly environment in Valencia. And while this is a huge perk for pet owners, there is a downside to there being so many pets in the city, which is cleanliness. One thing to keep in mind is that Valencia isn't the cleanest city. Unfortunately, some people don't always clean up after their dogs, so you need to watch where you step to avoid the occasional you know what on the street. This isn't so common near the city center, but in residential neighborhoods you'll need to be more vigilant. You'll also notice the occasional sewer smell that is common in some older cities. That being said, they clean the streets regularly, even washing them and scrubbing them down with a big cleaning machine. So they do a good job in maintaining it, and it isn't such a deal breaker for most people, and it's not a major issue, but it's still something to keep in mind. It's not like northern European countries that are so clean that, I don't know, you practically eat off the floor. Here you have to actually watch where you step and be mindful. Prices. A 1 or 2 bedroom apartment for 800-900 euros is not happening anymore. You have to be realistic and be prepared to spend between 1,200 up to 2,000 euros for a nice, good looking apartment, not an old Spanish looking one in a more or less a central area. Prices are going up for housing market, but it's still cheap comparing to Madrid and Barcelona, and way cheaper than American cities. The lifestyle. Okay, I've saved the best for last because the quality of life in Valencia really is the #1 reason people move here. But is it overrated? In my opinion, not at all. My husband and I are very happy we moved here, and we don't see ourselves living anytime soon. Yes, Valencia isn't perfect. It has its flaws, just like every city does, but there is something special about Valencia that has made it the #1 destination in Spain for expats, and you'll quickly see why once you move here. It's an international melting pot where you can build a tight-knit community of like-minded people who are just like you. You can live a deeply enriching and fulfilling lifestyle here. You can spend a morning working in a hip cafe, go for an afternoon swim in the Mediterranean Sea, and spend the evening having drinks and eating tapas with friends, all while paying a fraction of what you would pay in the US for a lifestyle that is far more rewarding, healthy, and fulfilling. So if you're planning on moving to Valencia with your family, this is precisely what my company Move to Europe can help you with. We help you secure your visa, find your ideal apartment, enroll your kids in international schools, and much more to help you live your best life in Spain. So if you're planning on moving here in the next 3 to 6 months, you can click the link in the description to book a call with me and my team, where we'll create a custom relocation plan with you and help you with every part of your move. And if you're looking for help securing a visa, which is the most important first step, you can download my Digital Nomad Visa Checklist if you work remotely, and my non-lucrative visa checklist if you have savings or passive income you want to retire with. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and if you want to learn more about this beautiful city, click here to watch my tour of the most luxurious neighborhood in Valencia. And I'll see you next week. Hasta pronto!